Шановні колеги, шановні журналісти.
Esteemed colleagues, dear journalists, we continue working on the topic of our next briefing. The French hypnotherapist transfer share their skills with the Ukrainian colleagues. I'm going to invite here Alexander Gomula, who is the vice president of the Association of the Benevolent Medical Assistants of French Ukraine. Isabelle Célestin, who is the director of French Institute of Body and Body-Oriented Therapy, and their colleague. You have the floor. Good afternoon to everybody. My name is Nikolai Grisel from the public organization Small to Ukraine. I'm really happy that Isabelle Célestin joined us here, who actually arranges during this week the workshop for hypnosis. Hypnosis is a very important practice to provide assistance to the soldiers in the east of Ukraine. In our NGO Smile to Ukraine, we try to help the Ukrainian soldiers, and very often we resort to the hypnosis. I should say that hypnosis is not very popular in Ukraine. Hypnosis can be used in order to train the soldiers for the combat activities. At the same time, this is very useful methodology or methods in order to take care of the consequences of the combat activities after the soldiers return back home after the from front line. In our public organization, which is called Smile for Ukraine, already held the workshops for the National Guards of Ukraine. Some hypnosis techniques, some episodes, small episodes of hypnosis, we already use those, for this purpose. The association which Alexander Gamola represents here, the Association of the Benevolent Medical Assistants to Ukraine, is a very important organization which helps us a lot. This organization has been working in Ukraine for a long time, and also they came to realize that the hypnosis techniques and is very important to the soldiers in Ukraine. Actually, Alexander contacted with Isabelle Célestin in order to invite her to come to Ukraine and actually arrange this kind of workshop for our Ukrainian psychotherapist. This is really a big success of ours when we managed to organize such a workshop in Ukraine for the Ukrainian military, which is very close to its end now, but anyway. Thank you very much for an invitation. Good afternoon to everyone. I would like to say a few words about our association. The association was actually established 1 year ago, immediately after Maidan. It's called the Benevolent Medical Assistance of France to Ukraine. In our association, there is a big number of volunteers, and everyone contributes to that. We are talking about humanitarian assistance and aid. We send quite a lot of the humanitarian help both to the east and the western parts of Ukraine. This humanitarian aid meant for the IDPs and to the families, members of families of those who were killed in action in the east of Ukraine. Also, we help to the hospitals. We provide some of the equipment. Also, last year we had the surgeons exchange program when some French surgeons came to Ukraine and they operated here, and the Ukrainian surgeons went to France to get some training. This year, in the close cooperation with Nikolai Gersternal and his public organization Smile for Ukraine and also psychological service, and we contacted different psychologists in Ukraine. We understood that psychological assistance or aid to the soldiers are very important, and we tried to work now in the same sphere as well. So what we are doing, we organize kind of training workshops for the Ukrainian psychologists, psychotherapists who are going to work later with the soldiers. In particular, the workshop dedicated to the post-traumatic stress syndrome, which is very topical because the soldiers come back from the front line with such problems. Yeah, and actually, if we are talking about it, the workshop is being held now in Ukraine. There is a big demand for non-medication treatment of PTSD and also the pain. The hypnosis actually can play a very important role here. And in this context, we actually organized a seminar which actually ends today. I would like to emphasize that in France, over the last period of time, hypnosis was used not only in the sphere of psychology, but also in the hospitals in order to treat the pain, the stress, and actually it's becoming more and more practically used today. This method of treatment, I mean, hypnosis, is first of all, it's very efficacious or efficient, and also the patient becomes independent from psychologists because after a special treatment, those persons themselves can actually use this method without any not being aided by the psychologist. Another positive aspect of hypnosis is the method of treatment. It's actually true for the physician himself or herself because this method substantially decreases the stress. That means that the doctors work in more comfortable conditions. And as Nikolai already mentioned, yes, the hypnosis can be also used in order to prepare or train soldiers for the combat environment. Yeah, similar to the effect when they used hypnosis in order to train the top athletes for their sports competitions. So, Isabelle Célestin and her other colleagues who were here in Ukraine for this week, they came to Ukraine in order to share their professional experience, how this hypnosis can be used, what are the techniques and methods, how to use it. So, Isabelle Célestin has the floor. Good afternoon. Good afternoon to everybody. I would like to emphasize that this workshop became the result of our coordinated and well-concerted work between different people. For example, Alexander, who represents here the Association of Medical Assistants. And this idea actually came about, was born in France, and we can see that this idea is being translated into life in Kiev during this week. Also, we closely cooperate with Nikolai with the benevolent organization Smile for Ukraine. I should mention that this practice hypnosis is being spread over the world now. And indeed, hypnosis can be used to treat pain or PTSD, which the military guys can experience. From point of view of science, this is one of the most efficient practices. Today, this can be used as a kind of supplementary message to other medical treatment techniques. Hypnosis can be combined with different other ways of treatment. In the workshop which was held here in Kiev meant for the Ukrainian psychologists. And actually, it's turned out to be a very interesting workshop because it helped us to recognize how we can combine different methods of treatment to fight pain and PTSD syndrome. And the objective of this workshop was to teach our colleagues how to use this method, and the patient, as a result of this treatment, after they go through this kind of seance, they can use themselves without any medical aid, without psychological assistance, become independent of the, let's say, the help of the psychologist. And hypnosis is very much spread treatment techniques the world over. And the French Institute of the Body-Oriented Practices, which I established in Paris. We have three major directions of our activities. First of all, training, then research, and consultations provided by us. We have a very close relationship with the Paris University and also with the different Paris hospitals. We have very good close ties with our experts the world over. And I really would like very much to be involved in our activities and working with our Ukrainian colleagues. who actually have a very high level of expertise and take in consideration the different problems they living through now in Ukraine. And we actually managed to see during this week the Ukrainian psychotherapist were quickly actually mastered the major principles and methods of this kind of treatment. This workshop actually is only the first step, the first stage of our cooperation. We are going to maintain the contacts with them later on in order to be involved in the joint research activities. And we are going to continue to help our Ukrainian colleagues to maintain contacts also with other experts in the sphere of hypnosis the world over, because we do have those contacts. Hypnosis, this is a method which makes it possible to rather efficiently change the perception by a human being, perception, very efficiently, in a very fast manner. Very often we come across a very strange image of hypnosis, which is not true perception. However, when we are talking about the medical practice, we have to understand that hypnosis in medicine, this is a kind of exercise dedicated to the concentration or concentration of the patient regarding his own condition or status. Hypnosis is a very absolutely natural ability of a person. So what we try to pass is our experience of the skills and the skills and the knowledge how to work with the patients, and then we teach the patient to become independent in their own treatment of their problems regarding the fighting the pain, etc. Also, hypnosis helps us to withstand or go through the stages, very emotional stages, I would say. And my colleague Catherine Bernard, she's directly involved in teaching other people of the hypnosis principles and pass it to our Ukrainian colleagues, and she works at the Paris clinic in Liberset. And she demonstrates, on the academic grounds, how hypnosis can be very efficient in order to subdue pain, because hypnosis can be also used during the medical surgical operations and in pre-operational situation. And in medical practice, very popular is to use hypnosis in order to diminish the doses of the anesthesia, in order to decrease the anesthesia medications which are used during the surgical operation, because thanks to hypnosis we can use them much less than usual. Catherine Bernard, my colleague, and my colleague Isabelle Célestin actually used in a French hospital, use hypnosis as anesthesia practice during the surgical operation, neurosurgical operation. And what we try to pass is our experience with our Ukrainian colleagues, how to use hypnosis in order to fight the special pain, and how hypnosis can actually help us to fight down and to subdue the acute pain.
Nous We are also submitting the results of international research of neurosciences. All this research related to hypnosis as the method of work with the patient. So neurology gives us understanding of what is the hypnosis. And the hypnosis allows us to understand how the brain operates. The patients learn how to think, how to dream, and to be far away from where they are now, and this way to change their perception of the pain. And they also learn how to better control emotions like stress, pain, sadness. And this is a very interesting experience which we are trying to share with our Ukrainian colleagues. And we are trying to create an effective model of cooperation. And thank you to the Alexander Gamalaza and for her support. And again, about the hypnosis and pain, that is very important for the soldier. In our organization Smile for Ukraine, we organize consultations of wounded Ukrainian soldiers. We'll taught them practices of hypnosis. And out of 50 soldiers that survived through amputation or some other grave wounds, and they had the level of pain 9 of 10 possible. So after the second consultation, the pain was at the level between 3 and 4. And this is very important for the soldier because the soldier at least could sleep and feel more or less comfortable. That is why this is so important, and that is why we organize this seminar in Ukraine. Thank you, friends. A question to Nicolas. Do I understand you correctly? How many soldiers did you give such consultations? About 100 Ukrainian soldiers received consultations on hypnosis. Among them, that's hypnosis during the preparation for battle, and the other part is rehabilitation after grave wounds. Are these the soldiers of the National Guards? Yes, some of them were National Guard. They attended today's seminar, during which we were teaching them some skills. And also now there is a program going on for about 100 soldiers from different battalions. And we also teach them hypnotic practices before the warfare. And we will tell about that at a different press conference. Are there any questions? I would like to ask how to what's the reaction of soldiers to these practices, because our specialists say that this is not the technique which is spread in Ukraine. That is really something new for the soldier. As a rule, they don't know what hypnosis is. They know Nicolau, the psychotherapist, and they trust. It is important that the doctor does not have to tell the patient that there will be hypnosis. They call that just exercise. In France, the hypnosis is developing very powerfully. We apply it widely. But people who suffer from pain, from stress, as a rule, they are open for any proposals, any assistance that could help them. And your question is right. We can ask questions what's the attitude of patient to that? We need to explain what is hypnosis and what it is not. For example, it is important to understand that during the hypnosis the person doesn't lose the control, and you cannot manipulate anyone if the person is in the condition of hypnosis. And this is the technique which helps to work on your own resources, on your own self-control. And more than that, we usually explain to the patient that they will learn auto-hypnosis. In this way, the person will be free, independent from psychotherapist, and will be able to help himself or herself. Thank you. I hope we will see you here many more times. Thank you.
Брифінг буквально за 1-2 хвилини.
Our next briefing will start in about 2 minutes from now.
Le temps. Oui, tout à fait.